Maxxxine is the third installment in the Ty West so-called trilogy. It is the conclusion to Pearl and X, and it is a fun and creative movie. This movie was so highly anticipated when it was announced, when we found out that we were going to get a conclusion to Ty West's crazy story. And man, this movie just doesn't fail. I mean, this movie is, in my opinion, the best out of the three. I enjoyed this so much. What Ty West is able to do so great, and what he's been able to do with these films, is just able to tell a story through a character's eyes, so unforgiving and so raw and real and just disturbing, and it just really paints a picture of what these characters are willing to do to live a life that they believe they deserve. Maya Goth's performance doesn't change, as in it's incredible, and you really buy this character that she's playing, this narcissistic, egotistical, wannabe Hollywood A-list actress, and that she's really willing to do whatever it takes. That seems to be the common theme with these films, especially with Pearl and the lead up to X. We've known since X that Maxxxine Minx has been wanting to be a star, with that quote that she says over and over, and it leads to Pearl, where Pearl was unable to really capture that life that she wanted. It shows two perspectives on it. Now, these are horror films, and Maxxxine takes a different take on the horror that the last two didn't. X and Pearl, we kind of already knew the madness behind the slaughters and who was really going to create and what was really going to go on. But Maxxxine is a whodunit murder mystery, and man, it does such a great job. Maxxxine kicks off a couple of years after the incident of the murders in Texas, where her and her crewmates that were filming an adult film were victims of Pearl and her husband. Now, in the film, her past does haunt her as she tries to keep a straight face about it, and there is a killer on the loose, a mysterious killer on the loose, killing different women in a so-called satanic ritual way, as in the 80s at this time, satanic movies and music and rock were on the high, and they were blaming everything on these satanic cults. Maxxxine Minx is trying to break out of the adult film industry and trying to make it as an A-list star. She lands a role in a film that could kickstart her career, but she's being followed by the ghost of her past. The mystery killer is after her and is targeting people she knows and is trying to get to her. First and foremost, just like the other two films, dialogue in this film is long but good. It's dialogue that you really have to listen to really appreciate. The dialogue at times can be a bit long for some liking, but I think it's good enough for it to be tolerable. The way the characters react with one another in this film as well is just so natural, yet very uncomfortable at times. Ty West's writing in this film is next to none. The cinematography in this movie is it's just beautiful. I mean, it's in Los Angeles, it's in Hollywood, it's in the 80s. You have the bright neons, you have the great landscapes. And I just respect the authenticity that Ty West brings to this film. It's filmed in the 80s and it almost feels like an 80s movie. He's able to use in the way he edited this film, because he did edit this movie, the way the film transitions and the dialogue and the sound effects. It's just a great mixture of how it's realism and it incorporates these certain things that were known to be in the 80s. The kills in this movie are as gory as you could imagine it to be. The last two films are a great scale of how gory these kills can be. However, I will tell you this, there's one scene in the beginning of the film that I'm usually okay with film gore, horror gore, but there's one scene in the beginning, and I think once you guys watch it, you'll understand it. I immediately had to turn away. It was just so fucked up. I just couldn't keep watching. But if there's something that this film really says about Maxxxine Minx, is that she's really is a badass in the best terms. Like, she can do shit on her own. She doesn't need anybody. That's the best way this film is able to portray her. Sure, I believe that she can be narcissistic at times, a little bit egotistical, but she does put in the work that she says she needs to. The film, in my opinion, is a great conclusion to the trilogy. I think it's my favorite out of the three. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I had a blast watching it. I was really fond of it, and I think the movie did really well. For my official score, I'm going to give Maxxxine 8.8 out of 10.